Marvel, you sons of bitches, you have done it. Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking awesome. Yes, it is fucking awesome. And if you haven't seen this movie and you're a Marvel movie fan, if you love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, go watch this movie. I don't care if you're not a fan of the comic, because I don't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy because I never read the comics. And even I love this movie. Oh my god, this movie is fantastic. This cast is superb. Chris Pratt, brilliant pick for Star-Lord. Not only is he charming, his personality is great, he can be a badass, his dialogue is awesome, and my god, Chris Pratt is so good in this movie. He really was. I really loved him. And also, he worked out a lot. He was lovable as the fat Andy Dwyler, and now he's buff and he has the six-pack abs. Oh man, he is hot. And we have Zoe Saldana as Gamora. I love Zoe Saldana in almost every single movie she's in. Hell, did you even know that she was in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie? I totally forgot about that. I always remember her as Naturi from Avatar, and she was hot as a tall, 9-foot tall, blue, half-naked Catwoman. And now she's green and she looks hot in it as well. She kicks ass. She's awesome with her sword, which is the God Slayer. Oh man, I can't wait to see more of her. Dave Bautista actually blew me away with his performance. I was shocked at how funny he was. Here's the thing, because I never read the comics, I do know about the characters for Guardians of the Galaxy just a little bit, but I don't know if this was in the comics or not. Basically, Drax the Destroyer is just a very literal guy. He's not a dumbass. I wouldn't say he's dumb, but he takes things so literally, and it's the running gag throughout the movie, and it's hilarious. Like, there's this one scene later on in the movie where he was choking Gamora to death, and Peter Quill is trying to stop it, and he's like, whoa, 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 hold on. She betrayed Ronan, okay? So he's gonna come back for her, and if he does, that's your cue too. Here's the thing, I gotta stop you right there. I always know it with the thumb, so if I see someone doing this, then I know, okay, that person is gonna die and they're gonna get their throats cut off. I always knew it that way, but no, he does it with the finger. And when I went to Canada, I remember people did it like that, so I'm not sure if that's a Canadian thing or some people do it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, but I always remember it's with the thumb and stuff. I mean, even in WWE, they do it with the thumb, so that's why I got confused. Anyway, Drax is like, why would I put my finger on his throat? The whole audience was laughing their asses off when he said this. Man, I love this line. Everything he said is basically hilarious, and I love the look on Peter Quill's face when he said that. He's like, what? Oh, no. This is just an expression for you to cut his throat. So I love that. And later on, Rocket Raccoon's like, hey, don't talk to him about metaphors, okay? They would go over his head. And Drax the Destroyer's like, nothing can get over my head. I have quick reflexes. I would catch it. Oh man, I love this. I really love it. So yeah, that's the running gag with him. And honestly, Dave Bautista is awesome as Drax, and he pulls off the tattoo look very well. He's buff and he kicks ass. He's awesome with the two daggers and slicing people's throats off and stuff like that. He was awesome. But the humor with him also, because he takes things literally. I just love it. He was great. Now, these two characters who are fully CGI'd, I believe they're the most riskiest characters Marvel has ever done. Well, one is more riskier than the other. Groot is the least riskiest. He's a giant talking tree, and this time he's played by Vin Diesel. And for those of you out there who believes that this role was wasted on Vin Diesel, it's not. Vin Diesel pulled it off so well. I mean, he's the Iron Giant, man. Of course he can pull off Groot. I'm okay with him speaking only 3 words. He put so much emotion into those 3 words, okay? Every time he says, I am Groot, it means something different. He says it differently, with different feeling. And he said it over 1,000 times for this movie alone. And recently, Marvel uploaded a video where it showed behind the scenes footage of Vin Diesel saying his lines in different languages. So like in Spanish, he says, Yo soy Groot! I love it. And honestly, when this movie comes out on Blu-ray and there's an optional language option, I want to hear it in Spanish. I want to hear it in Russian. Hopefully in Korean also. Oh my god. Korean Vin Diesel. Groot is so adorable in this movie. He was great. I really love Groot. However, Rocket Raccoon stole the show. I gotta be honest. When I first heard that Rocket Raccoon is gonna be in a live action movie, I thought it was gonna be shit. I really thought it was gonna be shit because for some reason, I can take a guy being bitten by a radioactive spider and getting spider powers. I could believe that. I could believe a super soldier who ends up being Captain America. I could believe that. I could believe in the Incredible Hulk. Hell, I could even believe in Thor, even though I don't like Thor that much for the comics. But Rocket Raccoon, a talking raccoon with giant space guns. That one, I cannot get behind at all. I just couldn't. So, I was a bit worried about that because I thought this movie would flop because of Rocket Raccoon. But in the end, thank you. Thank you for proving me wrong. Also, thank you for proving me wrong on Bradley Cooper. I like Bradley Cooper. He's a great actor. However, when I heard he was cast as the voice of Rocket Raccoon, I was a bit worried about that too. I was worried that Bradley Cooper is just going to do Bradley Cooper. But no, he made his own voice. He made Rocket's voice. And I'm so happy about that. I mean, they pulled it off. The son of a bitch pulled it off. Marvel pulled it off. James Gunn pulled it off. Bradley Cooper pulled it off. Everyone involved in this movie pulled off. Rocket Raccoon as a great character. Bravo. Bravo. Oh my god. Rocket Raccoon is so good in this movie. He's one of the best characters I've seen in a movie for a long time, and he's fully CGI too. I mean, he's up there with Caesar from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I mean, damn. I love this character. He was great. So for the movie, the action's very good. The comedy's very good. Oh my god, every single line of dialogue is hilarious. And I love the supporting characters. Michael Rooker as Yondu. Oh man, that's great casting right there. Michael Rooker as Yondu. Yes, I'm a bit disappointed that he doesn't have the giant mohawk shark fin on his head, but I'm okay with the metal mohawk he has. And he's kick-ass anyway because he uses an arrow. That's the thing. He uses one arrow. He doesn't use a bow and arrow. He doesn't use a bow and several arrows. No, he uses an arrow to kill his enemies. You have to see it to believe it. Seriously, it's just... But Michael Rooker was so good in that one. Glenn Close as Nova Prime. I wanted more with her, but from what I got, she's a likable presence anyway. She was great. John C. Reilly, he's awesome. Now I gotta talk about the villains. They were honestly the weakest parts of the movie, and it's not the actors and actresses' fault. There is not. Lee Pace was great as Ronan. Djimon Hounsou, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, he was great as Korath. Actually, he's more interesting than Ronan, but I'll get to that. And Karen Gillan as Nebula. She was kick-ass, she was great. Great makeup, great effects, great action. It's just great. However, Korath and Nebula are in the movie for like 10 to 15 minutes max, and Ronan doesn't have that many scenes either. And basically, Ronan's just a stock villain. He just wants to take over the galaxy, and there's nothing much to him. So that's the problem with this movie. That this movie gives so much character to even the supporting characters, but not enough for the villains. I mean, Korath at least has a sense of humor, especially in the beginning of the movie when he encounters Peter Quill. Everyone else, though, they were so super serious, and yeah, they are intimidating. They look great, but you wanted some more character into it. You wanted to know more about them because even Nebula has an interesting backstory because she and Gamora are basically sisters. So at least that's good. And Ronan works for Thanos. So you think there would be more interesting backstory on these guys, but not really. They don't delve into it that much. And they don't really say that much either. Ronan just speaks some, high and mighty of himself. He's like, I'm gonna rule the galaxy. I won't be Thanos' lackey anymore. Oh, I'm gonna accuse everyone. That kind of stuff. So there's not much to the guy. So that's why I was very disappointed in the villains. But the rest of the movie, though, did very well. And like I said, the actors and actresses who portrayed the villains are good. So that's why you actually do kind of care about the villains. The soundtrack in this movie is amazing. Seriously, all the songs in this movie are great. I mean, the awesome mixtape. It is awesome. Everything is awesome. Speaking of which, Chris Pratt was in the Lego movie, which was awesome! And the way the songs were used were very, very good. Like Hooked on a Feeling during the prison thing. And then in the beginning we have Come and Get Your Love when Peter Quill was dancing in the temple and stuff. You know what? The songs were chosen very, very well. And from this point on, I'm just going to be talking about spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, go watch it. So this movie did very, very good with the humor, but not just that, it did very good with the most sad, depressing, heart-breaking scenes. Oh my god. The beginning of this movie. It shows Earth 1988. The audience starts laughing and cheering as soon as that shows up, because a lot of us, especially me, were born on 1988, so I'm like, this movie knows me so well. And then it shows the awesome mixtape. We see young Peter Quill, and then our smiles finally become turned upside down when we realize his mother was dying of cancer. His mother was dying of cancer. Oh my god. This whole scene, I mean, Up had a great opening, okay? Because it showed the two characters, and they were children, and they grew up together, they get married, and then they have their own kind of misadventures, but not full-on adventures, and they're saving up to go to the mountains and stuff like that, but unfortunately, the wife dies, and the guy lives on, so yeah, it went from happiness to sadness, so that was okay, but this scene was full-on sad, and nobody expected. I mean, no one in the audience expected how sad it was gonna be. I mean, Jesus Christ. The mother's dying of cancer. It's the last time Peter Quill is gonna see his mother. So she gives him the present, which we don't know until the very end of the movie what the present was gonna be. And then she asks him to hold her hand before she dies. He refuses because he couldn't believe that this is all happening. He doesn't want to believe in it. He wants his mother to still live. He's really scared. He doesn't know what to do. Then the mother dies, and then when young Peter Quill realizes this, he regrets everything. He's like, Mom, no, don't leave, no. So he's holding on to her, but it doesn't matter because he regrets everything, and then he runs away from the hospital, and then he gets abducted by the spaceship, and then it shows the Marvel Studios logo. What the hell? This scene was very good. It really was. My god, this year has two very sad scenes. When Bryan Cranston was extremely upset that his wife died in Godzilla, and now this. It's like seeing Bambi's mother die again. Oh man. The entire time everyone's like, is this movie gonna be that sad the entire time? I thought it's gonna have a talking raccoon and a talking tree saying in 3 words, and now the mother dies of cancer. So then it shows Peter Quill all grown up. He's now known as Star-Lord, and he's in the temple, and it's very serious, but it's like Indiana Jones serious. It kind of reminds me of the opening of Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, so that made me happy. But what made me more happier, when he defaces his helmet, which looks awesome. My god, Star-Lord's helmet looks so awesome, even though I don't understand why it's not fully covering his head, because his neck is still uncovered, and also his hair is still uncovered, so you see him go into space with just the helmet, and you're wondering how come the top part of his head or his neck isn't frozen in space. I don't know, physics I guess. But he puts on the headphones, press play on the cassette player, and then Come and Get Your Love plays. Oh man. And then he dances! He dances! On his way to the entrance of the temple. Chris Pratt was so good, and I love this. It's the title sequence, basically. It shows Guardians of the Galaxy, and it shows Peter Quill, very tiny, and he's just dancing, he's sliding, he's making moves like, come and get your love. And then he faces off these very tiny monster alien rats that were trying to bite him and stuff, so he steps on them, and then one tries to aim for his head, and then he grabs it, and then sings into it like a microphone, like, come and get your love. Then he encounters Korath, and we've seen this scene in the trailers, and it's hilarious when he's like, wait, there's another name you know me by, Star-Lord. And Korath is like, who? I'm Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw, guys. Forget it. It was great, and I love the references from the 80s, because he calls one of the guys the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and I was like, that's kind of funny. The 80s are back, yeah. And yeah, there's more references from the 80s. There's a troll doll. Seriously, Peter Quill has a troll doll. I didn't... It's just great. And also, later on, he talks to Gamora about Kevin Bacon from Footloose. About Kevin Bacon is the local hero who teaches everyone how to dance and not have sticks up their butts. And Gamora's like, who the hell would have sticks up their butts? Oh man, and yeah, Gamora believes the true tale of Kevin Bacon. John Stamos is also mentioned and stuff. I just love all these references from the 80s. And also, I love the part where Peter Quill is running away from Korath and then he escapes in a ship. But then he realizes purple pink girl was with him the entire time in the spaceship, and she's like, "What's going on, Quill?" And Peter Quill's like, yeah, you're, I totally forgot you were still here." And yes, I love the fact that he can be a douchebag at times, but he's so likable, he's so lovable, he's a great douchebag anyway. So when Peter Quill is trying to sell the artifact, but the guy's like, "No, no, no, this involves Ronan, you can't be here, so shush, shush, shush." And then Peter Quill gets out of the store, and then he meets up with Gamora, and Gamora is so hot. I don't care if she's all green and stuff. She's just hot. I mean, it's Zoe Saldana, people. I'm sorry if I'm perving out. Zoe Saldana's hot. And Zoe Saldana kicks Peter Quill's ass, and then you have like the Pirates of the Caribbean chase thing, but they're also fighting each other. And then Rocket and Groot also join in the fight, and it was very entertaining, and it was hilarious. Now I gotta talk about the voice of Rocket Raccoon. Bradley Cooper did like an impression of Joe Pesci, I think, or Joe Pantoliano, who's Cypher from the Matrix movies. And you know what? He pulled it off so well. I honestly thought that was like Joe Pesci doing the voice or something like that. Seriously, I was kind of shocked. That voice turned out to be Rocket Raccoon's, because in the beginning you hear some guy just speaking the entire time, and you don't see who it is for like a minute. And the entire time I'm like, wait, is that like Joe Pesci or Joe Pantoliano? But it turns out to be Rocket Raccoon, and we all know that it's Bradley Cooper. So kudos, Bradley Cooper. And I love Groot's reactions to almost everything, because he was drinking fountain water and Rocket Raccoon's like, "Hey, hey, hey, don't drink that, that's disgusting." And Groot's like, Rocket's like, "What are you talking about? I just saw you right now. Jeez, why do you have to lie?" Yeah, their relationship is great. They're like the odd couple. They are basically Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's just great. And you know what? This movie is a better Star Wars movie than Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3. So the gang gets captured by the Nova Corps, and they get sent into prison, and that's where they meet up with Drax the Destroyer, and then shenanigans happen. And I love the prison scene because it's so hilarious. Rocket Raccoon's basically telling the plan to Peter Quill and Gamora, while Groot is doing his own thing, which is hilarious. When Rocket Raccoon mentions the battery thing, which is connected to the alarm, and Groot's like, "Okay, I might as well go over there and reach it," while everyone's just talking with each other. So the entire time, it focuses on the group talking to each other, but then in the background you see Groot just pulling out the battery, and it's just great. And it turns out that Rocket Raccoon not only needs a police scanner, but he needs a person's robot leg. And Star-Lord's like, "Why do we even need the robotic leg?" "Hey, we need the robotic leg, okay? Because we have to escape." So then the shootout happens. Rocket Raccoon with a big-ass gun shooting at everyone, including the giant robots and the machines. Drax the Destroyer is beating the shit out of people. Gamora's beating the shit out of people just to get to the police scanner. Groot's using his limbs as a shield or something like that to deflect the bullets. And then it cuts the action and then shows Star-Lord talking to the same prisoner with a robotic leg, and the prisoner goes, wait. "What is it that you want again?" And then it cuts back to the action. So it was great. I love the editing in this. The humor is fantastic. You see Star-Lord running around with the robot leg, beating people to shit with it and stuff. And then he finally gives it to Rocket Raccoon. And Rocket's like, "Oh wait, I don't need the robotic leg." Star-Lord's like, "Wait, what do you mean? You told me to get it." Nah, it was a joke. I just want to say, did you see the guy hobble without his leg? And he was laughing with his little paws, his cute little paws. And Star-Lord's like, "What the hell, man?" It's just great. Rocket Raccoon with Groot, Rocket Raccoon with Star-Lord, and Rocket Raccoon with Drax the Destroyer. Oh my god, his conversations with them is so damn good. Because later on, they are waiting for the Collector to give them money for the object that they found. While they were waiting, they were at this casino-like gambling place where they bet on which monster kills the other one. They're like little rat monsters. So Drax and Rocket Raccoon were drinking so much, and Drax goes, "Let's put more liquid in our bodies." Ha 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 ha. And Rocket Raccoon's like, "That's the first time I actually understood any of the insane shit you said today." Yeah, Rocket Raccoon curses a lot through this movie, and I love it. And later on, Rocket Raccoon is beating up Drax the Destroyer. They were fighting each other. It was hilarious. And Star-Lord's the only one who doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to see any of these guys fight each other or kill each other. And so he's the center. So it was great. And during this time, Star-Lord is trying to get with Gamora, and I actually want to see these two together. And you know what? It's refreshing that they didn't become a couple. It was refreshing, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind if these two got together and became a couple. They were great with each other. Because in this scene, Star-Lord is telling Gamora about why he had to go back to get his cassette player, because it's the one that his mother gave him, and it's the only thing he remembers about her, and the awesome mixtape. And Gamora never heard about the music before, so he shows her the Earth music from the 70s, and it's like they're about to kiss each other. But then Gamora realizes that Star-Lord is Star-Lord, he's a prick, so she wields a knife on him about to stab him, and Star-Lord's like, "What the hell, man?" It's great. "No, Peter Quill, I won't be like one of those women that you try to have sex with." It's great. And later on, Gamora was out in space because her spaceship was destroyed, and Star-Lord is making the ultimate sacrifice to go out there even though he knows he will die, and place his helmet, the Star-Lord helmet, on top of Gamora so she could live, but that would mean Star-Lord would die, and he's getting frozen and stuff. His eyes are extremely red, his body's becoming ice, and then they get saved by Yondu. And once they go inside Yondu's ship, Gamora's like, wait, you risked your life to save me. Why? And it's about to become even more romantic, but Peter Quill ruined that by saying, I don't mean to brag, but it's the first time I actually felt like a hero. And then he was like, wait, I don't mean that. Can we start over? And Gamora's like, ugh, I'm not feeling romantic anymore. What the hell happened to the stone? And like I said before, the sad scenes were done extremely well. Right after Drax the Destroyer and Rocket Raccoon were fighting while they were drunk. And Rocket Raccoon's like, yes, that is true. That is also true. So everyone in the audience is laughing and stuff. But then Rocket Raccoon is like, she called me a vermin. He called me a rodent. I didn't ask to be like this, okay? I didn't want to be an experiment, okay? I didn't ask for this life. Everyone felt silent, and we all felt bad for Rocket Raccoon. And also, there's another scene near the end, which is very sad for Rocket Raccoon, because Groot was sacrificing himself to save Gamora, Star-Lord, and Drax, and Rocket. And Rocket's like, no, Groot, don't do this. You know you'll die. Why would you do this? Don't go. It was tragic. And then he has the leftover remains of Groot, and he's extremely upset and stuff. So it tugs at the heartstrings, man. This Marvel movie, out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies I've seen, this one has the most efficiently well done sad moments. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's the movie's lighthearted, then it becomes sad. It's so depressing. Oh my god. And Groot. Like I said, Groot is adorable. I really love this character. I love his abilities. I love the fact that he can make himself taller. He can regenerate lost limbs. He can make a shield out of his limbs. He could turn his limbs into weapons. It is awesome. Groot is awesome. But there's a scene right before they fought off Ronan where Groot impaled a bunch of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guys. He turned his arm into a 20-foot long spear, impaled a whole bunch of guys in front of him. But it turns out there was another side of guys next to him, so he's slamming everyone against the walls. He's like, boosh, 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 boosh. Yes, wall to wall, ceiling to floor. He goes on for a very long time. Star-Lord was horrified. Then he looks at Drax the Destroyer, and Drax is like, when Groot is finally finished, he turns around, looks at the camera, and does the most adorable puppy dog face of all time. I love Groot. I gotta say that the best part with Ronan is near the end. Star-Lord shot a giant missile at him, and Ronan is still alive after that. Rocket slammed the ship onto him, and he's still alive after that. So all hope is lost. Ronan is about to slam his hammer into the ground because of the Infinity Stone he has on his hammer, and if he connects it with the ground, then the whole planet is destroyed. But as soon as he's about to do that, Peter Quill ends up singing and dancing, and I totally forgot what the song was. I'm sorry, but it was hilarious. Ronan was looking at Peter Quill, extremely confused at what Peter Quill is doing the entire time. He's like, wait, what are you doing? Stop it! Stop! What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Stop it! And Peter Quill's like, I'm a distraction, bitch! And then after this, the scene got extremely serious because Drax destroyed the hammer, which contains the Infinity Stone, and then Peter Quill grabs the Infinity Stone, but as we've seen before, it can destroy everything around its path and also destroy the person who's holding it. Ronan happens to be the only one who's strong enough to handle it. So Peter Quill, his skin is peeling off, his face is turning into mush, his eyes are deep, dark black. And everyone's wondering if he might die or not because he's doing the ultimate sacrifice. But then Gamora tells him to hold on to her hand, and then he realizes that these were the same words that were told by his mother right before she died, and he doesn't want to make the same mistake again, so he held on to Gamora's hand, who's also absorbing the power of the Infinity Stone. Then Drax is holding on to Star-Lord's hand, and he's also absorbing it, and then Rocket Raccoon is holding on to Drax, and then they all absorb the Infinity Stone, so they don't all disappear or get exploded or stuff. And then Ronan's very confused at all this. Peter Quill says, just like you said, bitch, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then just makes Ronan the Accuser explode. Actually, I just realized that. Ronan is the one who called these guys Guardians of the Galaxy. It wasn't the Nova Corps. It wasn't Peter Quill. It wasn't Glenn Close or anyone else. No. It was Ronan, and I actually like that. Even though I did like the action in this movie, I was a bit disappointed about the final confrontation between Ronan and the Guardians, because they didn't really fight each other. I expected a very big showdown, and also like the Avengers team up, you know? Like, remember in the Avengers when the Hulk was battling alongside Thor, or Thor battling alongside with Captain America, or Iron Man using Captain America's shield to deflect his beam and stuff like that, and Hawkeye shooting something near Black Widow, that kind of thing. I expected something like that. But no, you don't really see that much. Drax the Destroyer is the only one actually fighting Ronan off. I mean, yeah, sure, Star-Lord shot something at Ronan, but he only did that. He was mostly knocked out. Gamora didn't do shit against Ronan, and Rocket Raccoon slammed his ship onto Ronan, and Groot didn't do anything against Ronan. And Drax the Destroyer was trying to beat Ronan up, but he keeps getting the shit kicked out of him too. So it was not really the confrontation I really wanted. I wanted to see more of a team-up, you know? I mean, sure, this movie is all about teaming up, and they're learning about family and friends and stuff, and they finally trust each other. So it did feel like the Avengers in space. So yeah, at first they don't trust each other, then they bond together, so they work out very well. So, and they finally defeat Ronan, so that was good. But at the same time, I expected more fighting. So that's why I was a bit disappointed with the final fight. So the Guardians are set off for their next adventure, and Groot is now Baby Groot, and he's so adorable. I mean, he was dancing to the Jackson 5, and it was adorable. Oh my god, Baby Groot is amazing. I want to see more of that. I wonder if Vin Diesel actually motion captured for Baby Groot. I would love to see the behind-the-scenes footage of that, because we all know Vin Diesel's a great dancer and a great karaoke artist. But like I said, for the villains, it would be nice if they had some humor to them, especially Ronan the Accuser, because I figured that Drax and Ronan could have some similarities. Like, for example, Drax the Destroyer is extremely literal, so I feel like Ronan should be too. It would be hilarious for Drax the Destroyer to explain metaphors to Ronan, and Ronan's like, what the hell's a metaphor, or something like that, you know? That would have been great. I felt like this movie cut off a whole bunch of scenes with the villains, because it felt like, I don't know, everything with the good guys, the characters, and the supporting characters, they were great. Everything is good with them, but it feels a bit rushed or a bit short with the villains. So that's why I feel like the script just let the actors and actresses down for the villains. Even though I'm happy that Thanos is in this movie, even though he's only in it for like 1 minute, still, Josh Brolin doing the voice was great. I love the fact that they didn't even put a heavy effect onto Josh Brolin's voice. He just sounds like a pissed off Josh Brolin, and that's just good for Thanos. He looks great and he sounds great, so I'm happy about that. But I honestly wanted this movie to be more grounded into the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, especially with the end credit sequence. I wanted to see more references from the other Marvel movies because it's not just, happy about Thanos, I'm happy about the Chitauri, I'm happy about the Kree because they mentioned those. However, I wanted to see more like Howard Stark or Tony Stark or the Avengers or the Asgardians and stuff like that, you know, to make the universe seem more connected. Because this is in the galaxy. I was hoping for an Asgardian to be there. Hopefully Thor or Lady Sif or any of the guys, you know, that would have been great. Or Peter Quill having a Captain America action figure or something like that. Or he would have a device that's made by Tony Stark or Howard Stark or something like that, you know? Something that would reference the other movies besides Thanos and the Chitauri and all the other stuff, you know? I kind of want that because that's what I expected the end credits to be. I expected the Guardians to actually meet up with the Avengers or something like that. I know that's asking for a lot, but I kind of hope for that, but for the end credit sequence. I know it's for the hardcore Marvel fans and fans of Howard the Duck, but that scene actually left me a bit traumatized and extremely confused. I mean, nothing against Howard the Duck comics. I know a lot of people like those. I never read them. However, seeing that on screen for the end credits, I mean, in my theater, no one was laughing. It's supposed to be a funny scene, but no one laughed. Honestly, I think almost everyone is confused at what they've seen. Either they don't know who the character is, or they do know who the character is, they just couldn't believe that he is there. I mean, seriously. We see the Collector and in his destroyed place, and then we see the Russian cosmonaut dog. How come the dog didn't talk? Honestly, I thought that was going to be Nathan Fillion's character. I thought he's going to voice the Russian dog. How do you not take advantage of that? But no, the Russian dog was licking the Collector's face, and I don't know the exact words that Howard the Duck said, but I believe he said that, why'd you let him lick you? Gross, or something like that. So the Collector looks off screen, and then you see Howard the Duck drinking champagne, some alien champagne. Like I said, my reaction was, what? Because I knew who it was, but at the same time, I was shocked that he was there. You know, probably it's a good thing. Probably they would reboot the series and Howard the Duck movies, the new ones, are going to be great. But it just brought me bad flashbacks of that terrible abomination. Oh my god. Seriously, I don't know. If people like it, if you guys like it, that's good. But for me, like I said, I was a bit traumatized. And I was a bit disappointed also because I expected someone from the Avengers to see or meet up with the Guardians, you know? I would have been okay with Thor or any of the Asgardians or Loki or Odin or something like that, you know? And that's my review on Guardians of the Galaxy. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was one of the riskiest movies Marvel has ever done, and it pulled off so well. Rocket Raccoon, great. Groot, great. Gamora, great. Star-Lord, great. Drax the Destroyer, great. Oh my god, I can't wait to see what Marvel has in store for us in the future. It's beautiful. So write down in the comments below, how do you feel about this movie? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Which part is your most favorite part about the movie? Which line is your most favorite dialogue from the movie? Let me know. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a button here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later.